The medical device regulations were launched in May of 2021, and effectively they are a European regulation that is enforced to all companies operating within the medical device industry within the European Union. Effectively, there are three types of companies who have to consider the MDR or medical device regulations. First of all, we have manufacturers, which naturally relates to companies who produce medical devices. We also have authorized representatives, who are entities who operate in the name of manufacturers who operate outside of the European Union. What is possibly the most important element within the Maltese industry would be importers and distributors. Importers and distributors relates to any company that gets products from outside the European Union. Okay, so if a company is getting a product from outside the European Union and placing it on the Maltese or European market, then that company has to comply with the requirements of the medical device regulations, and that company will also have to register itself on EUDAMED. EUDAMED is the European database for medical devices, and it is a system that I can help you to guide your company to be able to be on such a list. Also, companies who distribute medical devices will also need to be compliant with the medical device regulations, even though the requirements for distributors are slightly different from those set out by the medical device regulations for importers. So, the medical device regulations is a regulation that has to be followed by organizations working in medical devices, and as such, there is a split between importers, distributors, and manufacturers. Manufacturers and importers have got to be on EUDAMED, while all companies operating in this front have to comply with the regulations, and they also, in the case of Malta, have to register with the Medicines Authority and have an approved MDRP, Medical Device Registered Person. I am one of such MDRPs, and I am also able to train you and your staff on the systems that are needed to implement the systems to be compliant with MDR. Right now, there are some excellent funding opportunities for companies who are seeking to comply with this regulation, and I can help you to identify the right types of funding opportunities that are relevant for your organization. And on the first meeting that we will have together, I will be able to explain the requirements of MDR as relevant to your organization, and I will be also able to explain the type of funding opportunities that your organization can tap into. Should you decide to use such funding opportunities, then we will apply for the funding, and we can wait for such approval from the government of Malta, whereby you will receive the cash grant. Once we start with such implementation, then the first step would be to see what systems you have in place right now to manage the handling of your medical devices. We will then compare whatever you are doing right now to the requirements of the medical device regulations, and we will compare the activities that are missing. Following that, we will then create an action plan that will help us make sure that your organization is compliant with the medical device regulations, and that all your staff are aware of their role within the management system that is compliant with MDR. Once this has been complete, then I will do an internal audit to make sure that your organization is meeting all requirements of the standard, and this will give you peace of mind to make sure that you are working within the legal parameters of your industry, and that you are effectively selling safe medical devices and placing safe medical devices on the European market. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch. I would love to help you understand the requirements of the medical device regulations and possibly the funding opportunities that can be relevant to your organization. Thank you so much.